Dan Illman, Mike Beer, race number 10 at Tampa Bay Downs on Tampa Bay Derby Saturday is the Grade 3 Florida Oaks. All of our stakes previews this weekend presented by DRF Bets. Sign up, access a $150 bonus. DRF.com/join is where you need to go. The promo code is TV150. Let's take a look at this field of competitive 3-year-old fillies going on turf at 1 1/16. Chad Brown very well represented. What else is new? He's got the 2 morning line favorites in the race, Mike. Let's talk about the number 2 Alti, who raced 5 times last year in France. Group 3 placed. Got a look at her most recent start at Deauville. She tried to come from last. She was kind of down inside, split horses, and she came with a good run. The winner of that race was odds on.
Yeah, I thought she ran pretty well in that race. They rode her pretty conservatively in there. I felt like maybe
she broke well.
Yeah, maybe it just took her a little too long to get clear. She split horses at the end, but she did it very late. I like the way she finished after she ultimately did get clear. You know, we'll see what happens. She does have a good post, a better post than the other Chad horse in here. She will get Lasix. Chad has a really good record with these imports. He seems to get them to run pretty well. I don't know, Dan, I could go either way on her. I don't think I'd want too short a price on her, though.
And she is the morning line favorite at 7-2, working fast at Palm Meadow. She has 3 consecutive bullet workouts on her tab. Chad also has the 12 Salsabella. This horse is at 4-1, and she has raced once in North America. That was in the Swedish Chant on February the 3rd. She had a terrible break, a typical European break. She broke about 2-3 lengths slow. She then followed the winner, her stablemate, The Way I Am, going into the stretch, and she ran okay. I think The Way I Am's okay. She came back to win Here Comes the Bride with an 84 bar. She's won 4-5. Salsabella couldn't kick with that horse.
No.
Something tells me this is a little bit of a hidden class drop. 4-1 seems fair.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, let's see what kind of trips you can work out from the outside post, and obviously you would hope, if you like her in here, that Irad will get her out of the gate a little bit better this time, because she's going to have to do that. But all things considered, her stateside debut was a really good performance. You know, The Way I Am just keeps, it feels like she just keeps getting better in every race. Every time that she shows up in the entries, I feel like, well, she's not that good. And then she runs even better in her next start. I feel like this one isn't the morning line favorite. I feel like she is the horse to beat, though, even with the outside post.
She's going to need some pace, though, because we're going to expect at least a typical European slow break. Hopefully not as bad as last time. Timeform US indicates they're going to have some pace with their pace projector. The red bar thinks it's going to be fast. The 4 Almond Roca is stretching out for the first time. Timeform US has her on the lead. Listen, she is the queen of the local 3-year-old filly dirt division, but there's no 3-year-old filly dirt race on Tampa Bay Derby Saturday. Graham Motion's going to try to stretch this out. Motion mentioned in the Marty McGee written race advance, they're thinking Royal Ascot maybe for this horse, or an overseas excursion. Her lone turf race was good.
I wonder what race they're thinking for overseas. Her only turf start, which came sprinting last summer as a 2-year-old, I thought it was fine. I don't know what you thought about it. She managed to get her way to the lead in there. You know, I thought that she ran fine in that race. She's improved since then on dirt. She has to stretch out in here. But I think she's, as far as her pedigree goes anyway, she's supposed to be able to get more distance. You know, she's by Speightstown. They can go any distance on any surface. On the dam side, and there's a Derby winner in there. There's a Goodwood winner in there. This horse is supposed to be able to stretch out.
The 6 Closer Still is going to stretch out to a route distance for the first time. Well, she ran around 2 turns last time out, going 7.5 in the Ginger Brew, where she finished second to the aforementioned The Way I Am. Slow but steady buyer improvement from each start for Closer Still, and at least she showed last time out she could be comfortable from off of the pace. I kind of like her from off the pace, especially considering the way this pace scenario shakes out.
Yeah, I like that she's going to be able to sit that trip once again in here, and maybe with, you know, not having to deal with The Way I Am, it's just a much better spot for her. I thought she ran well in that race last time. She got a really good trip in that race. She was only second best, but she did run well.
The 5 Andina del Sur finished behind Salsabella in the Grade 3 Swedish Chant. You could make the argument she had a better trip than Salsabella. She was sort of down inside in the pocket. She was still a little bit green in the stretch. She still hasn't figured out racing, but she's got a lot of upside potential. I wonder if she actually has the most scope for improvement down the road. You like her at slightly shorter distances.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with her. I do think she has some talent. The trip, I think you would want to look at the Swedish Chant and say overall it was a really good one. But you're right, a little green still, a little bit of traffic through the stretch, but she managed to work her way through it. Personally, I was a little disappointed in her last race. I thought that she would run better. Her Ginger Brew I thought was fine the first time they stretched her out, but we're at the point with her now, we've seen her 3 times. To me, the best race she's ever run is the first one, where they were sprinting her on grass, and she came with a big run from off the pace, and it's starting to make me feel like she's a closing sprinter on the grass.
Chad Brown's got the import in Alt. Beckoning is a first-time import for the great Bill Mott. This horse showed good speed in her debut over a synthetic surface in Ireland, held on to win. She took a lot of money that day and was expected to run. She's got a bit of pedigree, too. She's a half-sister to a horse that shipped over here and was stakes place sprinting on the turf. Distance worry you a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with her. I liked her debut a lot. This is a horse who I'm definitely using in this race. That race, obviously, over there in Ireland came on synthetic. It didn't come on turf, but she ran well in there. I mean, she was alert from the gate, but she raided and sat in behind the lead for the first half of that race. And then when the rail opened up, she came right on through there and dueled down another horse to win that race. She ran really well first time out, this horse.
The 10 Jehoshaphat got to turf last time out, and considering the pedigree, you think that's what she wants. Precious Kitten or Dan was a top turf horse. Yep. I think she's a half to, or full to Kitten's Joy, or half to Kitten's Joy. Yep. Jehoshaphat got a nice easy lead in that turf debut going a mile. She was game in the stretch. I think she's okay.
I do too, and you know, listen, I felt like she probably took a step forward on turf last time, but I don't know if she took a big enough step forward. I wanted her to improve more than she did.
I'm interested in the 11 Super Striking, hate the post position. It looks like Michael Trombetta, though, has got this filly pretty good right now. 2 wins around 2 turns in her most recent couple of starts. She is able to adapt to the pace scenario.
Yeah, any kind of trip she can get in this race. I'm like with you, I wish she had a better post, but she's really improved in her last 2 starts.
Peach of Egal, the 3, second against males, first time against winners on January the 17th. That was an interesting race. It says, you know, she was sort of near the back of the field. She came with a good solid run to finish second. Yeah. The third place finisher came back to earn a 70 buyer. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the motion you want to consider at a big price.
I agree with that. This horse ran really well in her turf debut to win. That was an easy win, and they tried Colts last time. The horse that won that race went right to the front and wired the field. This horse was running at the end of that race.
Let's talk about the 8 Overthinking. This horse has only raced once previously on turf. It was at Kentucky Downs. She was 45 to 1. She paid in the range of $92.
Right.
They've thrown her on dirt in her last couple of races. This is probably what she wants. I would take this formulator fact with a grain of salt, because Overthinking's 30 to 1 on the line.
Yeah.
Dirt to turf over the past 5 years. A good trainer, Victoria Oliver, only 4%, a 34-cent ROI.
Yeah, I just wouldn't put that much stock in it just because this horse is too big a price, and Vicky Oliver does a really, really good job. This horse doesn't overanalyze. It feels like they're just better turf horses at this point, and this horse is 1 for 1 on the grass.
Cash Out, the number 7, is already graded stakes placed on the turf, and if ever a horse ran like they needed blinkers, it was Cash Out last time out. She was being outrun a little bit by the way AM and Salsabella in the stretch, and understandably so in her first start of the year. But boy, she got green and started drifting in terribly in mid-stretch. Maybe the blinkers focus her. She's run some good races on turf.
I like the equipment change. I like that she has that first race off the layoff out of her way. And her 2 starts on turf last year as a 2-year-old, they were both pretty good. I mean, she won the first one to break her maiden to Kentucky Downs. And then I thought she ran fine in the Jessamine. I mean, she couldn't have been wider in that race. I don't know what she was doing way out in the middle of the track in there. I'm using her in this race at some kind of a price. She's a little bit too much of a grinder for me. She doesn't have any acceleration at all, but maybe the blinker straightens her out a little bit.
Top picks for the Grade 3 Florida Oaks coming up. You're going to go with the number 9, Good Things Take Time. I liked her effort in the Curra Stakes. It was only a 5-furlong race, 3 starts back, but I thought she ran a fine second as the favorite. And last time out, she was 7 to 5. She was expected to beat a weak field. She got a great trip and ride from Florent Giroux. This is a good trainer putting this horse in a nice spot.
Yeah, all those things are what I saw. That's why I like her. We'll see what kind of price she goes off at. It feels like with, you know, the Chad horses in here, she's probably pretty fair. I liked her stateside debut. I know it was back in with maidens. It was the right thing to do. Put her back in with maidens. She got a really good trip, but she also really ran right by that field at the top of the stretch. I'm a little concerned about how far she wants to go. Mile and a 16th, I feel like she should get it. Beyond that, it's going to be pretty dicey for her going forward, but I think she can run a little bit, this horse.
I need Salsabella to break from the gate, and I need a little bit of pace, but I thought she ran well enough last time out at Gulfstream that she can take a race like this, but it's all about tripping. It's kind of all about price. 4 to 1, I think, is fair. If she's going around the 5 to 2 range, I wouldn't touch her. Mike's going 9, 12, 7, and 1. I'm going 12, 2, 9, and 6 in the Grade 3 Florida Oaks. Again, if you're playing the Florida Oaks, if you're playing the Tampa Bay Saturday card, it's a good deal. $150 sign-up bonus for new DRF Bet subscribers. DRF.com/join. Promo code TV150. And approximate post time for the Florida Oaks is 4:50 Eastern. Good luck.